Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Today, we are continuing our journey into Area 51. If you listened to last week's episode with Jess, you already know we were getting started into UFOs. We were talking about sightings and theories and the what ifs. And things got weird, but we expect that. If you didn't listen to last week's, it's more of like a brief summary of where we're at with the UAP/UFO topic, things like whistleblowers and sightings and things that have been happening in Congress. And today we're taking it one step further. And I am prefacing this. This is a woo woo episode. Okay. So just, you got to come with me on this journey and just keep an open mind because it's one thing to talk about lights in the sky, but it's another thing to ask who is actually flying them. That's literally the only thing I care about. So, in today's episodes, we're talking about alien species. We've got some famous ones: the Greys, Reptilians, Pleiadians, and then there's some more niche ones that we found, Lyrians, insectoids. And they're just basically the ones that are like, yeah, that's probably not true, but Jess and I love them and we believe in them. So we're going to talk about them. We're breaking down what they're supposed to look like, where they come from, and the stories that people swear are real. And just to be clear, I am not here to prove anything. I'm just talking about it. So don't come for me and say that I'm promoting fucking an alien agenda. Okay. But before we go down this rabbit hole, I guess I should say, and I didn't say this on the last episode, part of the reason I'm doing these UFO deep dives is because I have a new song out today called Real Housewives of Area 51. And if you haven't listened to it, you can. I'll figure out how, maybe I'll play a clip in the episode. But we're going to actually play Jess, the video live. So I don't know how that will happen. I'm going to send it psychically. No, what we're going to do. First of all, Jess, how are you? Before we watch the video, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to talk about this today because I love what you just said. We believe that there's, flying saucers, but who's flying them? I love that.
Oh, we are crazy. We're recording. So I guess what we can do, Jess, is I sent you the link to the video.
Hmm.
I sent you the link to the video. There we go. I sent you the link to the video. So you watch it and we're recording, so we'll get your reaction live. So if you don't like it, just you're an actress now, okay?
Okay. I have opened the video. I am
Okay.
going to play it. Let's see what happens. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is incredible. Was that Doreen Virtue? Oh my God, Christina. I'm obsessed with Alien You. I'm back.
Yay! What do you
Oh
think?
my God. That was incredible. I don't know if you could hear me when I was watching it
I could hear you. I
or
could
if you
hear
could
you.
hear it.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the song. I could hear your reaction, which is exactly what I wanted.
Oh my God. I am obsessed.
You like it?
Are you going to show it? Can I talk about it right now?
Yeah, yeah, you can talk about it.
Okay. I was taken aback by Alien You. How did you do that? That was incredible. I absolutely love the song. I'm not just saying that because I love you. Like I love it. The video is amazing.
Oh my
I'm like
god!
crying and it's so like I'm not
Oh
just saying that because you're my
yeah.
bestie from Canada. It was so good.
Thank you.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
I actually I remember because I wrote it in on my way to Mexico on a plane, the lyrics, and then I sent them to you when I was in Mexico. I
Yes, and
texted
I
them to you.
remember, and I was just like, I cannot wait to like hear what this actually is going to
Yeah,
sound like, everything put together.
yeah. It's yeah. It. I'm glad you like it. I mean, you're the alien person, so I was like, if anybody gets it, it's gonna be Jess.
Oh my God, it's so good.
The alien me is AI. So I was really
Oh, you
what
didn't unzip your skin suit?
well, I'm gonna wait for that to be in the live show
Okay,
to
okay.
just like pop up. Everybody's up in arms about AI, but I'm like, there's only one way to be an alien at this point in my life.
Right, right.
So I got the paparazzi videos on Sora, and now I'm an alien. So I'm
So
glad you
that's
like
your
it.
official video.
That's my official video. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I, yes. Thank you for watching it. You're the
Oh my
first.
God, thank you for sharing it. I'm so honored. And it was
Yay!
really incredible. Oh my God.
It's like it's a different like format. It's like I'm not I mean I'm in it, but I'm not in it. So I wanted to do like a collage of like I wanted real footage. I didn't
Yeah,
want it to be like weird cheesy. I wanted like I found shit on TikTok and on YouTube and that I feel like is what the UFO stuff is. It's
yeah.
not like Hollywood,
Absolutely
you
love the
know.
ending. Like it was
I
like everything
know.
was perfection. I'm
Yes!
obsessed. I'm obsessed.
Woo! I'm gonna try and get myself booked at fucking those UFO conferences.
Do it. Oh my God, do it. Like
That's
Contact in the Desert would be like absolutely.
yeah, because they have parties, right? They have
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. They would
okay,
yes, you
I'm
need
on
to
it.
contact in the desert.
I'm gonna contact, baby. Yes, ma'am. Okay, okay. Enough about me being a famous pop
Oh my
star.
God.
Yay! Let's talk about alien species. So I think it's good that we did the last episode because you're setting the tone for like the the real, and I can hear people rolling their eyes. But there's like the scientific, newsworthy side of UFOs that's like, let's do our best to place it in reality. And then there's the side that we're going to do today, which I find so interesting, but there's absolutely no proof of any of
Right.
it, except maybe if you consider firsthand experiences from credible people, then maybe the Greys, and the Greys are who we're going to start with.
And I would love for anyone who believes in God or a God to be open to this as well, right? Because I feel like they're on the same proof level.
100%. Like there is, so my best friend's mom, Jesus is number one fan. She loves Jesus. Um, we've talked about aliens and she's like, well, who am like, I don't know. Like maybe there is. And if they are, then God creates everything. But it's true. Like we accept so much crazy shit at a blanket level because of it's socially acceptable and it's baked into society. Santa Claus, religion, fucking manifesting. There's so many things. So why wouldn't we include aliens? Like I don't know if I believe in every species that we're going to talk about. One thing that I am so like that gets me so excited is like different planets and where they could come from and what life would be like.
Right.
So I choose to believe that maybe there is some speckle of truth in each story. You would have to kind of believe maybe in like psychic shit and interdimensional. But anyway, that's you and I are on the same page about that. I think like diving into where they come from, despite us knowing it's probably not anything, probably not real.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the Greys. So, if you picture an alien in your head right now, chances are this is what you're picturing. The Greys are the most commonly reported and most iconic beings in UFO history. So, they are 3 to 5 feet tall, large heads, black almond shaped eyes like mine in my music video, thin bodies, and gray skin. They are associated mostly with alien abduction. So, if you watch any 90s show or any like I think they use the Greys in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I think they use similar ones in Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, or I think it's just called Fourth Kind. But they're very often linked to like the stereotypical alien abduction, which is like medical exams, genetic experimentation, and they're like emotionless robots. And something interesting that's coming up about them now is that they're possibly not living. They're like kind of like a clone or a version of AI, and they're kind of factory led. We're not going to go down that because I think people are listening where this is like the only time they're ever going to listen about alien species. We don't need to get too deep into
I mean, I
that,
was
but
gonna say the same. Yeah, that's like the most recent thing, which is super interesting that they're
yeah,
actual like little robots or like minions just doing
yes,
like the work.
exactly. And that's they're often described by abductees as emotionless or robotic. So that would make sense. And also this goes back to the fact that there's like bases under the water and that there actually is no aliens from the planets in large quantity on the planet. They've made these like Greys to come and do whatever work they're doing is the latest theory. And in terms of where they come from, the most common story is Zeta Reticuli, which is a close. I think it's the closest star system, isn't it, to us?
And is that the same one we talked about in the last
Zeta
podcast?
Zeta Reticuli, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah, that came up with Betty and Barney in our last
yes. So
recording.
Betty and Barney Hill, so they were taken into separate rooms and they both drew the constellation Zeta Reticuli because when they were abducted, the aliens showed them that. Travis Walton and Whitney Strieber both are famous abduction cases, but I don't remember those two specifically saying anything about Zeta Reticuli. Bob Lazar, who is the first person to come out who worked at Area 51, also said that as far as they knew, they were from Zeta Reticuli. He didn't know how they knew that. He just said that was sort of what was spoken about internally in the work that he did.
So Zeta Reticuli is real.
Yeah, the constellation is real. I think all of the constellations we'll talk about today
Yeah.
are real constellations. Um, whether or not aliens are there, I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, the Greys are the most famous, I would say. Like when people think about aliens and alien abductions, this is not only what like whistleblowers talk about, but also what you would probably see on Jerry Springer when they were like, I was abducted by aliens and they probed me and I was in a ship. It's like the whole range. It's like the foundational alien species would be the Greys.
Right.
Yeah. Anything you would add to that?
No, just I agree. And yeah, I heard the same thing that they're little robots. And I think they're, when I think about the Greys, I feel fear, right? Like they're scary. They
Uh,
don't look like us, where some other aliens that we might speak about today look a little bit more like us, right?
yes, yes,
Um,
yes, they do.
so yeah, they are kind of like scary and eerie to me, and show up in a little bit more of horror, I
Yeah.
feel.
And people talk about the eyes just being really scary. Like they don't
Yeah.
blink, they don't have eyelids. They're just kind of like black, ominous, big eyes. Although, when you also hear about the alien hybrids, we're already going on too many tangents. The people who are like apparently alien hybrids, they have the big almond shaped eyes, but they're not black. And that's
Mm.
also my video. So yeah, the Greys, the Greys. That's a good place to start. But Jess, I think you have more of the humanoid ones, don't you?
So I looked up the Pleiadians, which I have to say slowly. So yeah, I was just checking with you if Zeta Reticuli was real, because that was, something I looked up right away. I'm like, are the Pleiades real? So yes, the Pleiades are a star cluster. They are real, and they are in the Taurus constellation. And I quote, it is a group of young, hot, blue white stars, only about 100 million years old, visible to the naked eye. I just like that Google quote, and I wanted
They
to make it sexy.
They actually describe it as hot, young, hot stars.
Yes! When I Googled it.
Okay,
Young,
okay.
hot.
Love it.
So that made me obviously Google. So looking at the current New Age group, like how the New Agers talk about the Pleiadians, they say that they are light beings or higher dimensional entities, connected to spiritual awakening. And this is kind of where the concept of star seeds came from. So when we've spoken, now I think it's years ago, about spirituality, like that's kind of like what I knew about the Pleiadians, because I was very new agey, very into like that spirituality. And so yes, like I connect with that. When I think of star seeds, I think of Pleiadians. And another note is that humans supposedly originated from the Pleiades. I don't know how that's
What?
true if it's a young star system. I don't know. Maybe it's still older than us. I don't know have all the
Well,
math.
I mean, yeah, the Pleiadians are a big part of like modern, even non UFO people. If you're into like modern spirituality, they're a big part of it because, and you and I talked about this before, they're blonde, and a lot of humanoid species in modern pop culture are white and blonde. And there's a
Yeah.
whole narrative about like, wait, if we're like, if there's aliens all over the galaxy, why do they all come looking like they're from Denmark? You know,
Right. So I think
what
they are connected to like a Nordic thing. Like the
yes.
Nordics and all of that kind of get meshed in with the Pleiadians, I
Yeah.
believe. So, what was interesting around the Pleiadians is, I might mess up his name, Billy Meyer, it's Meier,
Hmm.
is often credited as one of the first people that talked about the Pleiadians or popularizing them as an alien species. Um, so yeah, he was claiming to be in direct contact with them in the 70s, around January 28th, 1975,
In the
which again,
70s?
yeah, so again, playing back to what we talked in the last episode, I talked a lot about the 70s and how the man or scientist Stanton Friedman was the first to like really start looking into UFOs and aliens again in the 60s, 70s, and the first to coin himself as like the UFOologist. So interesting that this is also happening in the 70s. However, Billy is in Switzerland. So they're not like all in
Interesting.
the US talking about the same thing. So yeah, just interesting. It's all kind of happening at the same time within the 70s. So he was interesting because he made a lot of claims and he has a lot of pictures that are very, very clear. And I can send you a link, and I'm gonna butcher saying this, but it's on like Sobsies for like thousands of dollars, his original pictures
Of aliens, of the
of
Pleiadians.
no, so
Okay.
of the crafts. But he was
Okay.
claiming to like, be in direct contact with the aliens. So where things get a little crazy
Mhm.
is that he also claimed that he went with them back in time to go see the dinosaurs. And he has pictures
Nice.
of the
Nice.
dinosaurs. So that did get debunked, where it does seem like he took a picture of I forgot whose late night show it was on back in the day. Um, but it looked like it was a picture from his TV. So
Oh god, that's so
he
embarrassing.
he has like a following. You might want to call it a cult. It's not exactly a cult, but he founded a group called FIGU, which seems to have a dedicated following. And it was kind of spiritual because he did think that he was connected through telepathy with the aliens, and they also like took him places. So this was, there's lots of controversy. Again, he has those very clear images that I'll send you. But it said that in 1997, his ex wife did tell interviewers that the photos of the spaceship models and the crafts were actually trash can lids. But the
Oh,
pictures look really cool. Like, he's definitely an artist.
yeah.
Um, and that he just used like different text to do it. And then I'm just reading my notes. And she also said that, so I guess he was talking to extraterrestrial women and did photograph them. I couldn't find those photos, but we can deep dive on that. That two of the women that were UFOs that he spoke to were actually a part of a singing group called the Gold Diggers back in the day. And
Wait,
it
wait,
was later
wait,
confirmed that they were the pictures. So
wait. This guy
I
said he's talking to Pleiadian women psychically, or he must have been talking to them physically if his wife was like, no, those
right,
women
because
are.
then he claimed he had. So I think there was physical, and he took pictures of them, but they were really from a singing group. And then he was also talking to them psychically. So here's
Okay.
where I'm like debunking this a little bit, where the Pleiades is a real star system.
Yeah.
I do believe that there's life out there somewhere. But did the man who really put the Pleiadians like on the map of like, yes, these are a real group.
Yeah.
Do we believe him? Probably not. But
Yeah.
it's a really fun story. And he's the one who really originated, again, talking about the Pleiadians
The tricky
as
thing
a
is,
group.
once these things get into pop culture, then every sort of story that comes after that, you have to try really hard to be like, are you remembering this, experiencing it, or is this just something that you have seen and now is in your psyche? Like, once they had Whitney Strieber wrote his book called um I don't know what he called it, but it was like his story with the gray aliens. And on the cover of the book was a picture of the grays, or like a sketch of what he remembered. And then after that, there was a surge in people having these memories of being abducted. And
Right.
obviously, you can look at that and see a correlation. Same with the satanic panic. The Pleiadians stand out because they're 100% obvious, always connected to a message of like love and peace and getting people connected, and um, reminding us about how as humans we can stay connected, which is a nice message. They're also the first alien species that I remember people claiming to be psychically connected to. And it's not like, if you're in modern spirituality or new age world, there are a lot of people who claim to channel entities, interdimensional people, even Jesus, during virtue. So the Pleiadians were the first ones that I remember having that. psychic thing. So yeah, very beautiful people, tall, blonde, supermodels, and yeah, the Pleiadian star system does exist. Yeah. Wait. You're on mute. Did you press mute? Go to your but beside your name.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. I think I pressed that by accident. But yeah, they're the Pleiadian star system exists.
Yes.
That's all we know.
And it's really fun to look at his photos, which I did just text you, and
Oh
maybe you
yeah, let
can
me see.
add that to the show notes.
I'm gonna look
Because
at
yeah,
this
they
guy.
look like great. But
Oh,
people also criticize them because they're like, wait, they're too clear, which we talked about in the last episode, how it's impossible to get a clear image of a UFO.
I mean, so for the people listening, I'm looking at a photo of like a field. It looks like a rural area. There's trees on the ridge, and then there's a UFO, a very clear, stereotypical UFO, like a saucer. Um, like with these photos, I always feel like if it's real, then it would be a very famous photo of a UFO that they have not been able to debunk. Like, how could this exist for so long from 1970s? I assume people have gone through it and tried to debunk them. There's a bunch of them. I'm just looking here. I mean, that is a pretty clear photo, and they do look very stereotypical. So,
Right.
yeah. And his wife ended up saying they were trash can lids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I hate this. Like I like it because it's exciting, but this is why it's so hard to get any traction with reliability is because there is so many people looking for fame and notoriety and just I don't know, they just want to do it. And
And I
hopefully
am a believer in if aliens contact us, it's probably going to be through telepathy. And that's being talked about a lot at all the conferences we go to because I'm real like my husband and I are really into the consciousness aspect of it. And yeah, like because again, consciousness is just a whole nother rabbit hole to go down that nobody really knows what that is. So I am a believer in that. And then we don't know what happens inside of people's minds if they think they really went through a journey. And then he thinks creating these photographs are a representation of it and he
Mhm.
believes it's real. So yeah, I think consciousness and the human mind is complex as well,
Yeah,
but not so great to, make something. I mean, if it is art, best to say it's art, than try to trick people.
totally. And it's, I mean, the other thing too with like, if there is a world where Trump or the next president is like, yes, aliens are real, it sucks that it's coming at the age of AI because nobody
Right.
will believe it anyway. And I feel like these people too just say you're inspired by it and you think it's cool. You probably would have had the same success because people would have been looking at it and UFO people want to believe. Like,
Yeah.
we want to see something and be convinced. So, yeah. Is that guy still alive or did he die?
Don't know.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Um, let's talk about now the reptilians. Reptilians are, I mean, maybe not the most common, like not like the Greys, definitely, but they are very famous for being like humanoid but reptile-like, scaly skin, slit eyes, often described as tall, muscular, physically imposing. And the common lore associated with them are like the reptilians are the ones that have infiltrated human society. So they have the ability to shapeshift, and if you go way back, it's like the reptilians sort of became the royal family. And if you go down the whole Epstein path, there's a lot of like rumors and conspiracies about these people just being um, reptilian aliens. Basically they eat babies, they live off of human blood, like super wacky shit. But it's very common. Like as soon as I got into UFOs, I heard about Greys and Reptilians. Greys are like the scientists, the ones who are coming to look. Reptilians are like the evil overlords that are sort of live underground in the earth, but they come from the Alpha Draconis or the Draco constellation. But there's all these weird stories about them living in subterranean earth. um, There is somebody named David Icke, who has a lot of stories about them, but some abduction accounts are described as hostile, intimidating. I actually don't know, except for one Reddit thread. I think it was on Reddit or maybe 4chan. And no, I don't look at 4chan. It was on a podcast that I listened to. Somebody claimed to have a one-on-one conversation with a reptilian that described that they live in the earth and they have like artificial sun. It's basically like my lizard friggin' enclosure. Like they
You have a
sunbathe and
baby
like
reptilian.
I have a baby reptilian baby. Um this is like one of the least evidence based and most controversial narratives. I think because they tie so closely to like the elite are aliens thing.
Right.
So heavily with the conspiracy culture rather than the government confirmed UAP discussion. Right. So we have like the conspiracies are part of this world, and some of them are starting to be, I guess, unearthed as not true conspiracies. Like we now know that the government has known about things in the sky that they cannot describe. They haven't said that it's aliens, but there was a time 20 years ago where they wouldn't even acknowledge that. So when you have the people, the guy like you just spoke about, who's throwing trash cans and claiming that they're UFOs, and then you have, you know, this story about reptilians infiltrating the elite and the royal family. It's, I mean, this is why people roll their eyes, right? Like they sit on the conspiracy side, but I mean, if there's life everywhere in the universe, how do we know there isn't reptilians? Like to me, my brain is like, do I believe that reptilians are on Earth? I don't think so, really. Like, gun to my head, do I believe? I would say no. Greys, I believe in. Pleiadians, I don't know. But it's a fun story. Like, there's some YouTube rabbit holes you can go into. Like, they're also tied with the Illuminati. Yeah, interesting story for sure. But I would say almost like comic book species, like snake people, lizard people, that kind of thing.
So this is the one that I'm believing in the most recently because of all the Epstein
Oh,
stuff, but maybe it's just because as a human, I can't believe other humans are this evil.
yeah,
And you kind of want to explain away to like, well, they must be evil aliens because oh, the rabbit holes of like TikTok and the internet that I've been going down because it is
yeah,
scary as a woman hearing about everything that's probably actually happening. And then I don't know, we don't know for sure if these elite people are eating babies, but if that's ever found out for sure, then that leads me to like more so think like, oh, they are reptilians. They
yeah,
must be a different species if they are humans eating other humans and babies. So I think that goes way down conspiracy because I'm pretty sure there's not proof of Epstein and his people's eating babies, but we don't know. And
yeah.
I need to veer myself away from talking about that. But yeah, it could be like a coping thing again for some of us of like maybe they are aliens because how could people be this awful and this evil? And I've been again as a woman just having nightmares and terrified that
Mm,
this is actually a thing, and I don't want this podcast to go down a dark hole, but
yeah.
yeah, a part of you just goes to maybe they're aliens, they must be.
I think it's actually good that you can say that. Like, I'm believing it, but it's because it seems so irrational that humans could do this that it's nicer to think that they're lizard people than
Right.
that they're just people. I listen to a lot of true crime, and the hardest part of like random acts of violence is that there is no reason ultimately. Like there are people out there who for whatever reason can commit insane acts of violence on other humans and not feel it, and you want to be like, why, who did this to you, what did you have against them? And the scariest part is that there is no reason and it could happen to anybody. And then when you think about that at like a controlled elite level, it's even worse because you're getting that possibility, not even the possibility that baby eating stuff, but just that people who are void of morality and emotion could be that influential. well, we know that they're that influential. We already know that that's happening. And the baby eating thing, I mean, this is the thing. Like every conspiracy in recent history, like let's start with COVID, the anti-vaxxers, right? Everybody was like, oh no, like you guys are crazy, you're anti-science. But it's coming out, there was a lot of crazy shit with the vaccines that we maybe should have taken our time with. Not saying that it was wrong to get the vaccines, but in retrospect, those people weren't all crazy. They had valid concerns that nobody was taking seriously. They were all washed away, not washed away, but eye roll, eye roll. The news was like, look at these wacky people. Pizzagate, that whole thing about Hillary Clinton hiding kids at the bottom of a pizza parlor, that wasn't true. But now with Epstein, we see that there was pedophilia rampant in this group of people. So you take like a very
Yeah.
small slither of truth and it can spin into wild stories and conspiracies.
Well,
But
the whole
if you
pizza thing is they keep talking about pizza in all their emails.
I know.
So that leads you to believe that their pizza is a code word for something. And again, I
Yeah.
don't want to take this episode down a wild path, but that like reopened the Pizzagate in my mind, not connected necessarily to Hillary, but was there something to Pizza Gate if pizza is their code word for something wild?
I mean, yeah, it is a code word. Like it one listen, I don't think the billionaires and most influential people in the world are actually sending emails about pizza parties.
Right.
So it's pretty obvious that it's something. And again, so Evan and I had like a debate in the kitchen about the baby eating thing. And he's like, that's insane. Like, why would somebody do that? But you have to imagine you are you have access to everything in the world. You can get any party, any car, any trip, any drug. And then I think you move into like sexual things, like any person. Maybe if you're straight, you explore like with the same gender. And then when that's not enough, it's like group sex. And you kind of like step by step, you're trying new things. And if you ever get to the point where like nothing is making you feel anything and you have tried every drug and every version of sexual kink or deviance, why wouldn't you keep going and do the craziest shit you could ever imagine? Like, you don't just wake up one day and do that, but there is a path that I can see where it's like you're just trying to do the next thing that is like insane, getting a high, pushing the boundaries, and just like trying to one up or like
Right.
that's where the baby eating thing is. Like, you can't go from you and I being normal people to eating babies, but imagine these people, how they cross these boundaries over and over and over again for decades, and then they have like the family lines that probably present different behaviors that we would never think of, but your grandpa did it and your grandpa's grandpa did it, and it just is like, oh yeah, it's weird to normal people, but for us it's not.
Right.
So basically you're right, Jess, they are reptilians.
It would explain a lot, other
Do
than just
you
being horrible humans. But I have another alien race to go over.
Let's hear it.
And it's another kind of debunky one, but it's a fun one and it's a more recent one. So I looked up the blue avians.
I'd
And this
actually
one,
never heard of these, by the way.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'd never heard of them.
So they, well, before we did this episode, you sent me a TikTok reel of all these different aliens, and oh, they look gorgeous, and the blue avians popped up in that. And they're a fun one for me, and they're a fun one to like picture. And I also recommend this really fun show, and I think I've told you about it before. I believe it's on Netflix, called Resident Alien, and it's a comedy and it's so much fun, and you'll learn about all these different alien races, but overall it's just a really great lighthearted show to watch.
Do they talk about the alien species that we're talking about today, or like completely other ones?
It almost touches on all of them. The blue
Oh
avians are
wow.
in it, the grays are in it. They go to basically contact in the desert. Like,
Ah,
yeah, like it's,
okay.
I highly recommend you should watch it, and everyone else. Again,
Oh
if
yeah,
anything, it's just a fun show, and it's really about humanity and being a good person too,
love it.
or a good being. Okay, so avians. So yeah, how did we get into blue avians? Unlike the Pleiadians, They're more recent, so they came up around like 2010. So definitely a recent alien group. And they are described as humanoid bird like beings covered in blue feathers. Um, they have like a beak like feature, and they could have wings or like wing like arms. And they are
I
like
did not know this.
very tall, and they are again very much a part of that Netflix show. So it's like, how do they become so popular that they're like featured in a Netflix comedy? So yeah, I like to think about them. I think it's like a cool concept. They are more like sphere beings, they're described as, and they are a little less physical and more spiritual, higher dimensional than classic aliens that you would think of, like, okay, I saw a gray in front of me. They're more like in your mind, not on the show, but you know. So yeah, higher density, and that they exist beyond space and time. So they actually don't have a planet or planet system that they're from, which is also interesting. So
Cool.
it's like, okay, how'd we come up with blue avians? So these were basically completely and solely invented by a man named Corey Good.
Okay.
If you're in the community, you might have heard of Corey Good before, and he does have some controversy surrounding him. So he is like a main person on the Gaia network.
Oh
So
God, not
a
Gaia.
lot of New Agers might know a little bit about Gaia, and it seems like it's a great network at first. If you're kind of in New Age spirituality, you can sign up for Gaia. It's kind of just like a Netflix or like an Amazon. You can buy different packages, and they have like yoga, Pilates, and they also have like ancient aliens, like history shows, history. But okay, I just did air quotes, everybody.
Yeah.
So but kind of like fun discovery shows, and then also just like alien shows. So Corey Good has a whole show on his own called Cosmic Disclosure, and it's just like a series where he talks about everything that's happened in his life. And he describes how he was a part of a secret space program, which, you know, is very real for him. He was a part of this program. He goes into like detail about the program. Like, if you listen to this man speak on this show, you're like, this is real, like 1000% real. So he talks about the program and his knowledge of space tech and like government cover-ups. And again, I was watching these back in the day. I'm like, wow,
So
like he
wait, is
is.
he a government official or he's a regular person that claims to have been part of a
Mm.
program?
Okay, I believe he's a regular person that was kind of taken in and forced to be in a program.
My dream. Okay.
Right. So then, I don't know the timeline, but it all went sour for him and the Gaia Network, where for some reason he was leaving or they made him leave, all of that. So now there's controversy. Everyone's suing everybody. This happened like a few years ago. They're suing each other. And then he was deposed. So in his deposition, basically, the person that was interviewing him was asking him a lot of questions, and he kept talking about the show and everything he said as his intellectual property, right? So he's like, this is my intellectual property. I own it. I should be the one making money off of it, because basically Gaia is still raking in millions from this topic and his program. Um, and basically in the interview, it was said that even though the stories were false and made up, he believes it still helped millions of people. So he basically said it doesn't matter if it's all not true, it's inspiring others, and that he should be the one that's making the profit off of it and not Gaia. And he said this, it is recorded. Um,
Mm.
so that was like literally the nail in the coffin of he made it up.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is his story, kind of like, you know, creating a book series or a comic series. It's like, this is a great story. And yeah, it's fun. You want to read a fictional book, you take yourself there. Maybe that'll put you into like a different mindset, a different mood. And, you know, fiction can help people as well. but Gaia presented it as if it was not fiction. He's a very good actor. This is a great story, like highly detailed. But the blue avians are interesting to me because his made up thing got onto this like huge, TV
Yeah.
show for Resident Alien. Like it's now a part of, one of the alien, beings that are out there in the lore. So good for him. He got one out there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just again, it goes back to, and I know both of the aliens that I looked up for this episode, I'm debunking a bit, but
That's good. I mean,
it's
it's good to be
fun. But
like,
like, yeah, like this, like when you dig into it, because now it's all over, TikTok and the videos of like the blue avians, and I definitely would believe in reptilians and um, whatchamacallit, little green men and the grays before the blue avians with this knowledge.
yeah. I mean, when we used to talk about psychics and tarot readers all the time, one thing we discussed was like, I think the majority of people who go to psychics and tarot readers believe it generally, but they take it with a grain of salt, hopefully. Like you're like, oh, that sounds so cool. And then you go about your life. And then there's a smaller subsection of that community who takes it very, very seriously. And you make big life decisions based on that. I feel like UFO lore is should be the same thing. Like for me, it's like I don't really, how do I say this? I want to believe. So I'm okay with being susceptible to stories like that because I am just living my life. It's something I'm passionate about. And I don't really care if people think I'm crazy or stupid, blah, blah, blah. But with this person in particular, claiming that it was like claiming that he was part of this government program and then it all comes out that it's a lie, it does such a disservice to the people that are, again, people who are listening right now who don't believe in it. I guess you just sort of have to, in this moment, at least accept that there are people in the world who have gone to great lengths to make claims about things that they have seen and heard in the government, military, or in their personal life to the expense of their personal life, their finances. Like they're not profiting. The opposite of this guy, the opposite of this person who just created this blue avians. So, what it does is it waters down the more credible stories. And when he says, oh, it helps people, I don't know if it helps people, baby. Like to tell them this crazy story that you were in a government program and there was blue bird aliens. Like maybe you uplifted them, but I don't buy that. Gaia, we could go down a whole rabbit hole. Like Gaia, this is the thing. This is like it's getting me really amped up. Spirituality, religion, God, aliens. It's like it already draws people who are susceptible, vulnerable, needy because they're looking for purpose in their
Right.
life. They're looking for purpose in their life. And so if you capitalize on that, that is really, really bad. I mean, it's capitalism, so I guess that happens all the time. But this is where I think the predatory nature of UFO culture becomes problematic because there's events, there's people who write books, and there's a very clear correlation between I have this story, but you need to pay to hear it, versus I will reluctantly tell you about this very traumatic thing that happened to me because I feel like I have to because it's fucking insane and people need to know the truth.
Yes.
Very different places. But people who are listening to this podcast, it's all the same. It's all like blue fucking bird people and David Grush, same. And that sucks. For me,
Right.
I'm okay with the spectrum because I feel like I have my eyes open of what is bullshit and what isn't. I'm sure people are like, yeah, no, Peter, you definitely don't. But yeah, that's yeah, blue avians, interesting. I looked them up. They're kind of wacky looking, but they don't exist, so who cares? Um in the vein, do you have anything else you want to add about the blue avians?
No, we are done
Okay.
with blue avians.
I think we'll do I had two left, but I can probably bang them out pretty quickly. The mantis and insectoids. Okay, so I wanted to choose the mantis alien whatever creatures because I do have a personal experience with them. Okay. Let me tell you this story. First, let me tell you what they are. Very tall, they resemble a praying mantis, long lips, triangular heads, large eyes. They're often described as the leaders or overseers in abduction scenarios, more intelligent and authoritative than greys. They're sometimes said to be running or supervising the program. People who have been abducted or claim to have been abducted talk about like insects in the room, or like sort of having this sense that they're there. There's no consistent origin story. Sometimes they're from deep space, sometimes they're linked indirectly to the Greys. There's these have come out a lot in the hypnosis cases, which Jess, you and I both don't really feed into, because there's a lot of influence that happens to
Right.
people when they're getting hypnotized, but they do often appear alongside the Greys. Some interesting notes are that witnesses often report telepathic communication, intense emotional reaction, and some describe them as cold, clinical, blah blah blah. And some actually others say that they feel ancient or wise. So this is I did ayahuasca 5 years ago. It was the pandemic, because I remember we shouldn't have been going because it was like during lockdown. And um, first night, so what happened was you go there, they do whatever they tell you about it. You take one cup, you lie down. If you need more, you can sort of go back. Like he sort of walked us through what to do, when to go back if you don't feel it, etc. So some people had one. I think I had like two, maybe three. First night, Evan and I basically were like peeing our pants laughing because it was so overwhelming, and like the visuals and the hallucinations were like very stereotypical psychedelic. Like it was like the fractals and that stuff. So really cool. Definitely not spiritual. Definitely not profound, but wacky experience. Probably wouldn't do it again. Second night, a little bit different. Like I definitely felt like I was in a different headspace. Um, you also do mushrooms in the second day. It was a lot, like to sort of keep you in that. And during this trip, I'm lying on my back and I'm sort of looking at the ceiling, and I got this overwhelming, I don't know how to describe it other than an impression of fear is like a physical space. When you give into fear, it's like you're going to a mall and the mall is fear and you're inside of it, right? Like you are under the roof within the walls and you're walking around, and it completely has complete control over you. It's a trap. You can choose to leave. You can leave the door. So it's like, got that information. Like, oh, that's really interesting. That kind of relates like to psychology about fear being a trap, and you got to break through it. And then I had a similar, like on the flip side, love is a universe. So they describe it was a description of like fear being this enclosed thing, but if you give into love, it's expansive and it's big and it's growing. And it was such a nice, like, oh my God, beautiful, like hard to describe, because again, nobody was telling me this. It was just sort of like I was getting this information. Loved it. And I still think about that. But during that time there was mantises around me, and like not physically like I'm seeing you, but there was some kind of presence that I was like definitely aware of, and I didn't think too much about it. But then when I got home, I was looking into it, and a lot of people have these visions or experiences during ayahuasca with mantis. And that kind of tripped me out, because I was like, oh, I didn't go with any explanation, or sorry, expectation about ayahuasca other than some people did it and it changed their lives. I wouldn't say it changed mine. But the mantis thing was interesting because there is sort of like this theme of them coming up. So
Yeah,
when
that was
people,
going to be my question if you knew that
I didn't
that
at the
usually,
time.
not usually, but that I've heard a lot of mantis experiences as well with people doing ayahuasca. So it's great that
Yeah.
it wasn't already something inside your head
Yeah,
going
it
into it.
wasn't. It wasn't. And so when people talk about having like a psychic experience with them, I do believe that that happens for sure. And when you think about like a giant mantis, it's not like my mind wasn't interpreting them as bugs or insects. It was like a presence that looked like a mantis, and it was a part of the message of fear versus love. And I don't know how they're connected. I haven't had an experience since it. And I think I spent like a couple days like on Instagram looking up like the mantis connection with ayahuasca. I didn't end up going any deeper, but that's kind of what gravitated towards why I gravitate towards the insectoid slash mantis. Um, Also, I think there's a high chance that in deep space and on planets with like darkness, there could be giant insects that are maybe sentient or become like intelligent because insects live underground on Earth. Like they live in extreme environments. They don't need, it's like, why wouldn't that happen? Giant insectoid thing. Also, a lot of sci fi, not to ruin it for anybody, Hail Mary, there's an alien in it. That's all I'm going to say. But a lot of sci fi has insectoid beings and stuff. And I think, oh God, scientifically, I don't know. Don't you think it would make sense that an insect type creature would live in deep space on a hostile planet? Like
I mean, yes, in like deep
exoskeleton.
space. When I think of mantis as aliens, I feel very neutral about them. Yeah, like everything you were describing, intelligent, kind of like more surgical, right? Like the surgery doctor just figuring things out, and I feel calm about them. So unlike
Yeah.
when I think about the potential of a gray, I feel fear. Mantis is kind of just like a professional, a doctor, someone that knows what they're doing and is calming.
Yeah. Okay.
So not again, more of the neutral calming, not like, oh my God, there's so much love coming off of the mantis when I think about it, but
More like a painkiller or like a sedative, like more clinical.
clinical and also not in fear of. And it's so
Interesting.
interesting that you described feeling fear in like a mall. And
Hmm.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but on TikTok, there's been like Mall World. Have you heard
What?
about it?
What? I mean, there's a Netflix documentary about the people who lived in the mall. I haven't watched it, but I don't know about
No,
Mall
so
World.
it's not like talking about like real malls, I don't think, but it's like in a dream state, people are connecting that they're having the same. If you have a dream where you're like, every week I go back in this kind of same space, or I'm in the same room, I'm in the same thing that feels like a mall. I'm like going up and down escalators, whatever it might be. And then someone's connecting that, everyone's connecting the dots of like, oh, wait, I feel like I go to mall worlds too. So again, that could be something that's just like fun and made up, but you saying the mall and fear kind of connected that a little bit because
Interesting.
it doesn't sound
Interesting.
like it's a great place. So maybe that
No,
is a place that people go because they're fearful and that's where they go in their dreams.
I mean, there's a whole, and again, this kind of goes to like you see something on TikTok and then you're like, oh, I guess that was my dream too. And for me, like the mall was symbolic
Yeah.
of, of a space. But interesting. I didn't know that. There's also that famous, I think it was Miami. There was like a supposed encounter with a like a physical alien somewhere in a Miami mall. And
Oh.
yeah, there's no footage of it, but sort of people started coming out saying this happened. And then there was footage not of the alien, but of the police surrounding. Like something had happened in the mall.
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, crazy. So I don't know malls. I also had this friend from the Philippines when I was growing up. Like I was probably in grade 4 or 5 or 6. And her dad used to tell us about snake people that lived in tunnels and under malls. And I remember like snake, and he was like 100% serious. And when I started reading about reptilians, I was like, oh, I wonder if that was like their version of reptilians. But yeah, he would talk about snake people under malls. So I don't
I don't
know.
know. I am seriously at a point in my life right now, again, going back to like the files and everything. I'm like, what if this is all real? Like trying to like just sit and think about that for a second. Like, what if everything's real?
But don't you think that this
What,
is
like, that
like,
would literally, like, I don't know, that explains why they're keeping it a secret. Because at first, when I'm thinking about, like, oh, why don't they just tell us about aliens, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, what if it is this bad? What if it is really real? Like, I would freak out.
yeah,
A
I
lot of people would
actually
freak
find
out.
that more, I don't know if calming is the word, but it's just like a relief. Like money, the rat race to live this ultimately shallow life of capitalism and products, social media, unrealistic beauty standards, loneliness, all of this stuff. If the alien shit was real, it'd be like, okay, none of it matters. And we're just in a simulation and, humans in the grand scheme of things don't really matter. Then you know what? I'm going to go to a party every night. I'm going to
Right.
fucking make endless AI paparazzi videos of myself. And I don't care because it's beyond my control. It's the same way as like people who find out they're terminally ill and then they're like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, I don't care what you think of me. I don't care if I have money. I don't care if I'm ugly or fat or lonely. Like, I think there would be like a sense of relief to know that reptilians and Lyrans I haven't spoken about. I'll talk about them briefly in a second. But it doesn't scare me. I don't know why. I feel like because if
Yeah.
that's true, we are so insignificant and also so beyond power. Also, you can't beat the elite. Like, I just don't think that there's a way for us to truly uproot that the system that it's set up in. And if it's aliens, it's like, okay, I mean, this is galactic, baby. I'm just gonna
Well,
release pop music.
my conspiracy is, well, yeah, it would be scary at first if like all this stuff is real and they're all reptilians, they're all eating babies. But the other hopeful portion of that is we're all in this like fake society that they made because we were being suppressed from like our true powers or like our true mind expansion, are that we really have telepathy and we can, and this is actually how you manifest or create your world, and they have hidden that from us and made this
Mm-hmm.
world. So if everything's real and everything's completely like not what we thought, yeah, there's a glimmer of hope that we can then open up and expand of who we truly are as humans and consciousness and
Yeah.
defeat the evil.
If the bad is real, the good is real, right? And the
Yeah.
good the good would be like humans have so much more potential, and the oppressive nature of capitalism, religion, and stuff is to keep us dumb and muted. Same with alcohol, drugs, like social media, keep us
Hmm.
like not aware. And if that broke open, then yeah, it would also be the friggin' thing that new age communities have been promising every year, that we are about to move into a new era.
Right.
That never happens. You know what? I'm gonna just tell you that the next species I was gonna talk about are lion human hybrids, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. They live on in the Lyra constellation, Vega. I guess Vega is another name for Lyra, but I actually chose this because they look like lion humanoids, but they're also in Lyra, or Lyra, Lyran. In that, on that planet, there are also Nordic looking aliens that are indistinguishable from humans, that are peaceful, advanced. So similar to what you spoke about with the Pleiadians, um, but they also have the giant cat people.
Wait, so are they the ones that built whatchamacallit in Egypt? The Sphinx? That would make sense.
No, you just solved the pyramids.
I did it. You
Yeah,
know,
I
and
don't
I
know.
hope all cats are descendants from them. I
That
hope.
would be amazing. One of the first things I did when I got ChatGPT, because we were in on our honeymoon when I was really started experimenting, was doing alien hybrids. Not alien. I would do like flamingo human hybrid, like slug human hybrid, and I just love that shit. I like. I would want, like, if you could pick any animal to see in real life as a hybrid, what would you choose?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm just
Cockroach.
gonna have to go with a cat.
Yeah, you guys. How many
I'm a
cats
cat
do you
lady.
have? How many cats do you have,
4.
Jess?
Yeah. My husband came with 2, so we're just gonna leave
Okay.
it there.
All right. I think that's a good place to stop today. So next week we are going to be back with more UFO. It might be the third, it might be a trilogy, or maybe I feel like the more we talk, it's like we could do Gaia, we could do Area 51, deep dive on Bob Lazar. Like there's a lot you can do. I just want to be mindful that I don't turn into a UFO podcast. Not that I would be opposed to that, but you know, we did this with spirituality. You get to a point where there's nothing left to talk about, and I feel like it's better to have it sprinkled in like waves of like inspiration
Yeah.
and good stories.
You mentioned Bob a lot in your song, so we
I
might have
know.
to go into his lore a little bit.
Kiss My Face, Bob Lazar. Um, you know what? I'm going to play the song for you all. I'm going to end the episode with the song. I hope you like it. Listen to it on Spotify, watch my video. I am very famous and hopefully will be ascending to a new planet soon. And we'll be back next week with more UFO topics. Thanks for being here, Jess.
Thank you. Bye.